I always tell it like it is when it comes to style because I'm here for you. I will always tell you the truth. And I'm here to tell you that black may not be your best neutral and what to wear instead. I'm also going to talk about how to build a color palette for your wardrobe in today's video. Hey, this is Netta. Today I'm here to talk to you about why black may not be best and on how to pick the best neutrals for your wardrobe. How to pick the best neutrals that you're going to build your wardrobe around. I get asked a lot of questions about color, and I'm here to give you my take and share some truth-telling, sound fashion advice for you that will help you build your best wardrobe. So my name is Netta. I am a former fashion editor and fashion columnist. I'm now a personal stylist, and I'm the founder of the Ageless Style program, where I've helped thousands of women over 40 build wardrobes that they love so they're beautiful and they feel confident every single day. If my voice sounds funny, it is funny. It's because I have a little bit of a cold, so bear with me. I'm so excited about today's topic though. When I mentioned in my Not Your Mother's Style Rules video that black may not be best, I got a lot of comments about that and a lot of feedback about that, mostly positive, okay, so if black isn't best, what is best? Or from those of you who said, I'm noticing that black isn't working for me as well lately. So today I'm going to talk about how exactly, step by step, how to choose your best neutrals for your wardrobe and then how to use them in your wardrobe. Okay, so we're going to use some celebrity examples so you can find people whose coloring relates to your coloring and make the best choices for you. Okay, let's get into it. First tip is to start with your most neutral. Your most neutral, I've mentioned this in other videos, is going to be the color of your hair. So you're going to start with your most neutral. I'm going to show you, using celebrity examples, how I pulled their hair color into their wardrobe color palette and created a color palette for them. So we're going to start with Naomi Watts. Naomi Watts is, in many systems, is called a summer or a light summer. So in my system, she's just a light, but we're going to pull some of the cool tones that Naomi Watts has naturally, and we're going to create a color palette that is customized for her. This is what I do for my clients, and this is kind of a foolproof way to do it for yourself. Now, this is a system called the Image Color Picker. It's a tool. It's really, really cool. You upload an image, and it allows you to isolate like hair color, eye color, so that you can build a color palette using the tones that God gave you, the tones that are already in your coloring. So looking at Naomi Watts, we see that she's got this kind of a coolish blonde color in her hair. And the way that the color picker pulled it out, it looks like kind of like a light taupey sand color. So that's going to be her most neutral. That taupe sand color as a blonde. Any variation on a light to medium beige is going to be your best neutral based on your hair color. So for her, it's a little bit of a cooler taupey sand color. Then we pulled a color from her eyes and we picked out this beautiful kind of cerulean blue color for her eyes. This is going to be her medium neutral. And then based on her light neutral being this sand color and then her medium neutral being blue, I decided to pull in a dark neutral that I felt worked well with these other neutrals. And since I'm keeping the tones cool in this color palette, I chose a cool charcoal gray color for her dark neutral. So 3 neutrals easily pulled together, starting with the colors that exist in her natural coloring. Okay, so if we're going to look at another blonde who maybe has more honey, more golden, more warm tones, I picked Kristen Chenoweth. She is often cast, color typed as a summer. In my system, she would still be a light, but maybe she finds that she really responds and enjoys and looks good in the warmer light tones. So we pulled colors from her coloring, and so it's kind of a light honey blonde sand shade for her light neutral. This is going to be her best neutral. It's going to be the most neutral for her because it's a color that already exists in her coloring. So when she adds it to an outfit, it doesn't add an additional element to the outfit. It just complements her coloring. So this is the color palette I created for her. Now that medium like teal, blue, green color is the color of her eyes. So that's a color that the color picker picked out for her eyes. And then I completed this color palette for her by choosing a dark neutral that echoes those warm tones. And so I picked this cognac brown. You can go darker and make it more of a chocolatey brown, but this is a great starter color palette for someone who has coloring, kind of like Kristen Chenoweth. Now, what you can do with this, all of these color palettes, you can add a darkest neutral, like I kind of did with the charcoal and the brown. You can go even darker in that direction. And you can also add your version of white. So whether that's going to be a bright white, or whether that's going to be an off-white, an ivory, a soft white, a just barely white, you can add those on either ends of these colors. But then you're going to have like a well-rounded color palette that's going to check all the boxes for you in your wardrobe. Okay, now we're gonna move on to a more medium blonde like Jennifer Aniston. Now in my system, Jennifer Aniston has soft coloring. So all of her tones are the same. Her hair, her skin, her eyes, they're all kind of like muted, and they're very, very similar. She's very low contrast. This is one of the most popular, most common American color categories. Blake Lively is a beautiful example of soft coloring. Now softs are the ladies that I encourage to stay away from black. Now, if you're a light, the lighter you are, the more platinumy you are, the lighter your hair color, the more you can wear black. But the darker your blonde becomes and the more medium your tones become, the harsher that black looks on you. So I know Jennifer Aniston wears black all the time. She's beautiful. She gets, professional makeup all the time. And I don't think that's a great example to look at in terms of, well, she wears it, so I can wear it. Unless we have access to the same hairstylist, the same makeup artists, the same styling, the same lighting, all of the things, I still think she looks better in other colors. In this picture, she is wearing gray, and I think it's a much better neutral for her than black. Now, if you've got this medium muted coloring like Jennifer Aniston, your coloring is actually really neutral. And when I put her picture up, the color strip that pulled all the colors from that picture was very medium, very muted. And that really is how I would describe her coloring. So creating a color palette for her, we used the color of her hair, which is kind of a medium blonde color, and created this kind of medium neutral beige as the base and the first color for her color palette. So this is going to be her most neutral because it's going to be close to her hair color. Now for her eyes, we picked, there's actually debate about Jennifer Aniston's eye color. I don't know if this is true or not, but some people say she actually has brown eyes and she wears blue contacts. I think her eyes look very, very natural blue, so I would be surprised if that were true. But her eyes are kind of a more muted blue. They're a beautiful, beautiful color. And like I said, her whole coloring is blended. So we pulled the color from her eyes to create the blue that's in her color palette. Then I added a brown shade, again, kind of a cognac brown shade, which works really well on blondes in general as her darker neutral. Now she could also do navy, she could also do charcoal as her dark neutral, and she could do a soft white, an ivory, and off-white as her lightest neutral. And those would be colors that really harmonize with her existing coloring. That's what this is all about. This is all about picking colors that really harmonize with your existing coloring. That's what's going to make them like look fresh on you and look beautiful on you and flatter you and do all the things that we want color to do. Okay, next we're going to look at Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie is the opposite of Jennifer Aniston. Kind of funny that they have a shared history and a shared spouse, but she's the opposite of Jennifer Aniston when it comes to coloring. So she is a clear in my system. She has that high contrast coloring where her hair is very dark, her eyes are bright, and her skin is fair. So her color palette just popped out at me right away. She needs black, and she wears black with white. Clear ladies wear black with white better than anybody, and so this is a great color combination. And then we pulled the blue from her eyes for a vibrant kind of royal or cobalt blue color. So her color palette really is we want to kind of avoid the medium and the muted tones for this color palette and go straight for the bright that's in the middle, the white on one side, and the black on the other. Those are her absolute best neutrals. And she's going to have a more focused color palette than some of the other color categories. So Angelina Jolie, beautiful as a, and if this is your coloring, if you've got, really dark hair, almost black hair, and you've got fair skin and you've got bright eyes, this is going to be a great color palette for you. And it's a great system to use to kind of build the color palette for your wardrobe. Next, we're going to look at Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock is a deep. She's got deep coloring like I do. So she has dark hair, dark eyes, and medium skin tone. Now you can have lighter, you can have darker skin tone and still be a deep. Kate Middleton is a deep. So a lot of, brown hair, brown eyes, a variety of skin tones. That's often going to put you in the deep category. Now with deep, we also look good in black. And also really dark brown, almost like a black brown. It's what the color system that I use calls a licorice brown. It's really a dark brown color. That's a great color for the hair color that is associated with deep, which is dark brown to black hair. Most common hair color in the world, by the way, is black hair. I was very surprised to hear that, but it's the most common hair color in the world. So I pulled the really dark, the black from her tones and her hair, and then I pulled the brown from her eye color to create a color palette, and then I put just a slightly off-white in the middle. She could actually do white, she could do off-white. As a deep, we're neutral, so we can do the brown, we can do the black, we can do the white and the off-white, we can do the silver and the gold. So I felt like this is a great color palette. This is a color palette that I use now. I also have added gray to my color palette. I can totally do that as a medium neutral, and then you can also add blues and other colors. Again, you're neutral, so you can add more, but this is a good starter color palette for a deep lady. Next color category I want to talk about is warm ladies. Now, warm ladies and cool ladies are the only two non-neutral color categories in the system that I use. Julianne Moore is a warm lady. She has warmth in her hair and her eye color. And so I created a color palette for her that's based on her warm coloring. Now, as a redhead, that rust cognac, that warm, rich, beautiful brown that's been trending for the last couple of years, is a beautiful neutral for her, and that works as the darker neutral in this palette that I've created. Now, of course, she can go for a chocolate brown. She can go to the very darkest end of that color spectrum, but here I used a color that was really pulled directly from her hair color. This is going to be a great neutral for her as her best neutral. Now we pulled a color from her eyes to pick this beautiful warm green color for her eyes, and then she gets kind of a warmer white as her light neutral. So this is a great color palette for those of you who have coloring similar to Julianne Moore. Now, finally, Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren is a cool. It's actually hard to. It's getting easier, but it's hard to find a cool-haired celebrity because a lot of celebrities do color their hair, and cool is based on overall cool coloring, including cool hair color. So she has that white, silver, gray hair color, and then these beautiful piercing blue eyes. And so I pulled the colors from her hair to create this very, very light kind of silvery white color. Of course, you can do any shade of gray with this color category, and that will be any shade of gray or silver is going to be the best most neutral for you if you've got gray to silver hair. Now, if you've got gray to silver hair and it's salt and pepper hair, you can go more for the darker colors like the charcoal. If it's white or silvery white, you might want to go for a lighter color like a lighter gray or even a silver. Now, for her light neutral, I picked crisp white, and then for her blue, we pulled the color from her eyes and it's this beautiful kind of like aqua blue color. And so that is a great place for her to start, a great starter color palette of neutrals for someone with that coloring. So as you can see, all the clues to the colors that look good in us exist in our coloring. And the whole point of color theory and color systems is to find colors that harmonize with you so that the colors suit you, they look like they belong on you, they look like they fit you, they don't enter a room 10 minutes before you do, right? So that they bring out your best. And I have really dialed in my own wardrobe, my own colors more and more as I've gotten older because I've seen what a difference they make. I've looked at myself in enough pictures that I know that the right colors make a huge difference and make me have to work less hard to look my best. I don't want to have to put a lot of extra effort into looking my best every single day. And wearing the right colors lets you just get dressed and know that your colors are already bringing out your best, so you don't have to do as much here to make that look happen. So that's the whole point. It's not about limiting you to colors that maybe you don't love as much, but the key with picking a color palette for your wardrobe is to pick colors that you love that love you back. as I say in a lot of my videos, it's a healthy relationship. You love the colors and they love you back. It can't be one-sided, like my tragic relationship with blush, pink. I loved blush, blush didn't love me back. So I had to let blush go. And instead, I focused on the colors that love me back, that I also love. And those two things are the things that you need to look for when you're creating your color palette. Colors that love you back, that you also love, because you want both. You want to get excited about your color palette. You want to wear these colors, right? Okay, now that we've talked about the different colors and how to choose different colors based on your coloring, I'm going to share the link to my color picker tool below because I think it's going to be something that you're going to find really helpful. So the next step, so we added the color that's closest to your hair color. The second step we did was we added another neutral or second neutral. Now this should be light or dark depending on your hair color. So if your hair color is dark, your second neutral, you're going to want to pick a light neutral for your second neutral. If your hair color is light, pick a dark neutral as your second neutral because you want ideally a light, medium, and dark neutral in your neutral color palette at the very minimum. Those three neutrals, light, medium, and dark, are going to give you the versatility you need in your wardrobe. So pick the color that's not in your hair as your second neutral. The third neutral, for many people, can be a medium blue color. I think that works for everybody. There's a shade of blue for every woman. Most of us wear jeans. So if you're struggling, like many deep and clear ladies do, on what's that medium neutral, if I don't want to wear a lot of camel or I don't want to wear a lot of beige and the muted colors don't do me justice, pick a shade of blue because that's going to be already in most of our wardrobes. Like I said, we wear jeans, so that medium blue is going to show up in our color palette anyway. Okay, now you can add your version of white and your version of black if you don't already have that in your color palette. So your version of white is going to be ivory, soft white, off-white, bright white, whatever that white is for you. Keep in mind that you want to look at the color of your teeth for this a little bit, as well as your overall coloring, because if your teeth have a lot of yellow or a lot of gray in them and you go for a really crisp white, it's going to bring out the extra yellowness in your teeth. So you don't want your white to be way whiter than the color of your teeth. Just a little tip right there. Now on the dark end, your version of black can be charcoal, it can be chocolate, it can be navy, or it can be black, depending on your color category. So you want to pick the darkest neutral for you that's going to work with your coloring. So that's how you're going to build out a color palette. Start with the color close to your hair, pick your white, pick your black, pick your medium, and build out those again, it can be 3 colors, it can be 4 colors, it can be 5 colors of your neutrals. But just having this basis and this foundation of neutrals in your wardrobe is going to allow you to build a wardrobe with intention, a wardrobe where everything goes together effortlessly, and most of all, a wardrobe that brings out your best and brings out your beauty, which is the whole goal of everything we're doing here. Okay, now that you have your color palette, I want you to use that first best neutral that we chose, the neutral that is closest to your hair color. That is going to be the neutral for your leathers. That's going to be all your leather pieces because these are your investment pieces, right? Your bags, your shoes, your boots, leather jackets, leather coats, any leather pieces like that, any bigger pieces that you're buying in leather that are investment pieces. You want those to be, at least when you're first building out that wardrobe, and at least if you're like, oh, I really want a Gucci bag, or I really want a Coach bag, or I really want whatever brand that you love, but I don't know what to get where I'm gonna like it for a really long time, because this is an investment bag. You get a color that's closest to your hair color. If you want to spend a little bit more on a pair of beautiful shoes that you're gonna wear all the time, you get it in a color that's closest to your hair color. So whether that's black, chocolate, charcoal, using that dark neutral or that neutral that's close to your hair color. For a lot of blondes and redheads, you can go for taupes, you can go for cognacs. For brunettes, you can go for dark brown, you can go for black, you can go for even like a really dark wine color. And then for those of you with silver hair or gray hair, you can go for any shade of gray and even like an icy white color. So I'm going to show you bags based on hair color. So again, for maybe warmer blondes, for soft ladies, for warmer tones in general, warm ladies, this cognac brown is a great color. I will have a catalog link below that's going to have bags and shoes and all of these colors for you based on your hair color. So this is going to be a great shoe and bag color for those of you with warm tones, warmer blondes and redheads. If you have dark hair, this really deep, rich brown or black is going to be your best hair and your best purse and bag color based on your hair color. And then if you've got like if you're a soft, you can do that cognac brown, but you can also do like a medium gray color. It's going to be a beautiful neutral for you. Also, if you're a light and you want a lighter shade for your hair color is lighter, you're gonna do a sand or a taupe or a light beige color like this for your bag and your shoe. And then, like I said, if you've got cool coloring, you're going to do grays, icy whites, silvers for your investment bag and shoe. So again, catalog below based on hair colors, and I'm gonna put the celebrities in there so you can find your celebrity, find your bag, find your shoe, and you can kind of see what that color palette can look like and how it can start to work in your wardrobe. The thing about choosing a bag and a shoe in that color is that it will go with literally everything because it goes with you. It goes with you, so it will go with everything you wear. It's just a foolproof color. If you're traveling, if you're going on a trip and you can only take one pair of shoes, first of all, I would say do not go on that trip. But if you can only take one pair of shoes, take the shoe and the bag that are close to your hair color. They will go with everything. Now, often we hear how black can pull an outfit down and it can drag an outfit down, especially in the summer. That is true for those of you who black is not your best neutral. If, like me, black is one of your best neutrals, then black is never going to pull your outfit down. The color of your hair will never drag an outfit down, will never weigh an outfit down, will never look off in one of your outfits. So it's kind of magical. Now, when you're looking at your 3 neutrals, if you've picked 3 to 5 neutrals, you want to I get this question all the time, which neutral goes on which part of my outfit? Really doesn't matter, except when you're looking at body typing and proportion in mind. But a good rule of thumb could be to choose your light neutral for your shirts, your dark neutral for your bottoms, and your medium neutral for your jackets and your completer pieces. So that's a good kind of rule of thumb if you're looking. But that's why we do 3 neutrals, because if you've got classic style at all and you've got a black and a black and a black and they don't all look like the same black, it's gonna bother you. Doesn't bother me because I have a little bit more creative style, but if those of you with classic style, if you want all your dark neutrals to match, a way to get around this, besides buying a suit or buying all the dark neutrals in the same place, which is a good way of doing it, but a way to get around this is to combine light, medium, and dark neutrals in an outfit. Then you've never had that color where it's a little bit off and it kind of drives you crazy. So that's it. Those are my strategies. I'm going to have lots of tools for you guys. And we'll be talking about color a little bit more on this channel since it's a foundational aspect of building a wardrobe. And I'm here to help you build your best wardrobe. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by giving it a like. Don't forget to comment below. Let me know what you think you are. And if you're working on your color palette, if that's a struggle for you, I do a full color analysis for everybody in my Ageless Style program. I think it is a key. It is one of the first steps, and color is your filter. When you go into a store, if you are the type of person who doesn't like shopping and you get easily overwhelmed, if you go into a store and you know your colors, you can scan the racks really quickly and immediately know if there's something there worth looking at for you, or if you can move on to the next store. It really takes the overwhelm out of shopping. So again, this is something I work on with my Ageless Style program members, but I wanted to share kind of the system with you that might help you start getting closer to what your best neutrals are. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Always love hearing from you guys. And if you enjoy videos like this and want to see more videos, don't forget to subscribe and to like. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.